Hi, Corena. I just want to say thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule and doing an interview with me. So I've been interviewing different business partners that are on our team. And when I say team, I'm not saying, I always have to tell people I'm not saying team as in how people usually think about it. Like there's a network of us and we get to learn from each other and kind of show up every week and just bounce things off each other. So that's kind of, I like to say more like a partnership. So today I'm interviewing Corena. She is a agent in Atlanta, hot Atlanta. So Corena, just tell me a little bit about yourself, like how you got into real estate. Just give the people a little bit of information.
Yeah, so I've been in Atlanta for about 12 years now. Moved from Springfield, Massachusetts, so Western Mass. In my previous life, I was an optician, a licensed optician. So I worked
What's
in.
that? Help the people. I don't know what that
Yes. So I worked in optometry offices, assisting the optometrist, making glasses, eye
I was
exams.
say eyes, right?
Yes,
Okay.
all of
Okay.
that. So sales, pretty much.
Sales. All right. Okay. Gotcha.
And yeah, so as my son was entering middle school, I'm just like, I can't work these retail hours. These sales sales is what I love to do. I love to help people. I love to uncover the needs of people, help them find better solutions for things that they're using every day and that they're needing every day. But the hours were just not cutting it. So,
Yeah.
just not
Retail. I remember working retail and sometimes you would be there. I remember I worked Blockbuster. Now this is a long time. In high school, ain't that crazy? I worked
What's that?
school, all right. Two jobs, and I would work at 11 o'clock. Well, technically, you're supposed to get off 11, but when the new movies came out, you had to stay late and put them on the thing. I mean, at 17, I'm in that store till like 1 o'clock, like going to sleep. So, and then I remember working in Finish Line, and that was, like those hours. You can be there, especially if it's inventory and stuff like that. So I understand what you're saying.
Just craziness. And then being a manager as well, you're always required to do more, stay later, come in when call out. And
I was just saying when those people like call off. So you say I got to do something else, and you look into real estate. Like, was that just the easy choice, or like what came about? How did it come about?
Well, when I transitioned from a corporate company, from a big company, I went to work for a smaller optometrist, and just her entrepreneurial spirit kind of just rubbed off on me. And I'm like, how can I do that? How can I still be in sales? And how can I run a business and be a boss? Like, she just really inspired me. And I've always loved properties. Everybody watches HGTV and
we all say that. And I say we all, when you become a realtor, you hate when your client is referring to HGTV, even though we love to watch it, right? Because we all know that's not really reality.
It's not reality. It's like, it's okay, let's be inspired by it, but let's not expect that.
No. Right. So you say, I'm going into real estate.
Yes. So decided to take a few weeks off of work and go into the accelerated 2-week program.
Oh, you did the 2-week program. That's a lot.
Program, passed the test on the first try.
In 2 weeks. Yeah, that's intense. It's a lot of law. Because what I tell people is like real estate school teaches you law and how to pass the test. They don't teach you how to sell. So it's really heavy around law and knowing those different things. So you go, girl.
Yes. I was stressing, but I was like, I got to do it. Time. And so when I passed the test, I found an agent who was in the business, who was doing it for a while, and she allowed me to kind of shadow her. I asked her if I could shadow her and just see what your day-to-day looks like, which turned into me being a showing assistant, obviously.
Oh.
And,
But you know what? So let me ask you this, because now you're going into your career and you have this almost like a mentor. You ask her if you can shadow her. Does she have her own brokerage, or is she with a company? Like, what does that look like?
So she was with a smaller brokerage, but at one point she did have her own brokerage. And when the crashed, she went back to being under someone else. So she had the experience of running a brokerage and being a top agent.
Gotcha. So you kind of went on with her as her assistant, showing assistant. Sometimes that happens. I remember, me getting into the business. Because we're thirsty, so we want to learn the business. Is like, if somebody gonna let me go out and look at houses, open doors, being a showing assistant. Yeah, you learn a lot in that space, though. You do.
I did. Even just the simple things of how to you see the vocab words, but how do you use them? How do you how do you show? I remember my very first showing, I couldn't get the lockbox open. And
girl, it's so funny. Me either. I remember, and I would be freaking out because the client is there, and you like, this is supposed to be so simple, like, and then different lock boxes, right? So, pain. I will say 3 years later, I still get anxiety around lock boxes sometimes.
Me too. I don't know.
Simple things like that.
Oh, it's crazy. Do you guys have super boxes in Chicago?
We call them, what do they call them? You talking about the ones, it's on my phone.
One's right. It's on your phone. I'm like, okay, before I go show this house, let me make sure my phone's updated.
Century key is what we call it.
Yes.
The century key. Yeah. So that makes it easy. And then in Chicago, sometimes you'll do showings at like apartment buildings, right? Like really buildings. And they've put the lockbox in the back of the building with everybody else that's trying to sell a condo. So now you're running up and down trying to figure out which one is this? Oh my God. The small ones.
It's crazy. Yeah. Condos and townhouses are the worst. When showing multiple. Yeah.
So you go on with her and you're a showing assistant. So what does that look like for you?
Were
you with her?
I was with her for 6 months. And as her showing assistant, I pretty much just kind of onboarded her new clients and got them set up with their routes and finding places for them. It's pretty much once we found the place, then she would take over. Right. She would take over the contract and everything. And I was with her for 6 months and short-lived, but I learned a lot of, what to do, what not to do, better ways of doing things, which was, I don't regret it. It was a fun time. Once I left her, I got my first client. That's really the reason why I left. I got my first client. I was like, oh, okay, let's go do this. So
now let me ask you this. How did you get that client? Because right now you're focusing on her clients. But so your first client, where does that client come from?
So it's kind of, I don't know if it's kind of bad, but it was a referral from one of her clients. They just wanted to work with me. They did it.
Yeah, no, I don't see anything. I'm like, you have to capitalize off that space.
Right. So I guess I kind of felt bad because I took her and ran to the next brokerage.
Oh, so you say I'm leaving you and this brokerage. But hey, you gotta do what's best for you. Right?
You gotta do what's best for you. And I just felt like I wasn't gonna have that hand holding with her, and I did not want to mess up my first transaction.
So you didn't think that even though you were helping her that she would train you? She wasn't giving you any training during that 6 months?
Not really. She was so busy. She was really busy. And I feel like I was helping her more than I was.
Than you were getting anything. And that's very important because we have to realize that when you get in partnerships, it needs to be win-win. If one person is gaining more, then the value of that relationship is off. So you need to go. Where do you go?
I went to Better Homes and Gardens.
Okay.
Real estate metro brokers. They're a fairly large brokerage here in Atlanta.
I actually heard of them before.
Yeah, it was great. Lots of learning. I actually joined a team. And that was interesting. It was expensive.
Let's talk about that. So let's talk about that. One of the things I keep saying is that I love EXP because we have so many angles you can go on. So every time I interview somebody, the interview is a little different. Like the person I interviewed last week, she talked about being on the team and all the training she got and all the leads and everything that just took her off because she had only did one transaction in 10 months, and then she's done 24 in a year being there. But she also realizes that she's an amazing agent by herself, so she's going to transition off that team because when you're on that team, you're getting something, but you're giving up something. So talk about when you say that was expensive.
Yes, so it was expensive. So the way the team was structured, the team lead pretty much was generating all the leads for us and kicking them out to us.
Okay.
But she was kind of our admin support as far as if we're out and we need to type up a contract, she'll type it up for us. We need to check availability on a property. She would check availability while we're out in the field. She pretty much handled everything. But the split was really, 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 really high.
Tell me, what was the split?
So for a team generated lead, it was 50% split, right? But then I had my broker split on top of that. Right. So
you damn near working for free. Wait a minute.
Yes, it was expensive.
I'm telling you, you start really looking at, like, the more you get, when you're new, you're just raw, you're out there, you want to learn, you want to get leads, you want to do deals. And I think that's an amazing space to be in at the beginning because I feel like it's exchange for knowledge. You know what I'm saying? So I'm making a little cash and I'm learning a little knowledge, but that's not sustainable for long-term growth. Like when you start looking at your numbers and you start seeing yourself as a business, I think that was one of the biggest highlights I've gotten in the last 6 months is that I'm not a real estate agent. Well, I am, but I'm a business first.
Yes.
And as a business, you start looking at, well, what's this number is going to cost? How much is a lead? What is this? You know, so I had like a whole paradigm shift in just 3 months. And to hear you gave the piece of the pie, you gave up 50% of the pie, and then you still had to pay the broker out of that.
Yeah.
What was that split?
It was 30%. It was 30%. So it was a lot. The volume was there. So the volume was there. So it was a lot of closings. And my logic behind it was I'm meeting a lot of people.
Yeah.
And those people will go into my database that is non-existent.
And that's why I said, so it's all about timing, right? So this makes sense that for that space of time in your career, but you did realize that this is expensive. Like this, like it's almost college is expensive. This learning and building this business is expensive. So
it was expensive.
It was costing you. It wasn't costing you on the front end, but it was costing you on the back end. When you go to that closing and you see your check get divided so many ways, you're like, oh wait a minute, I could have made this.
Not only was it expensive in my checks were little, but I wasn't learning anything because I was just kicking it back. It's like, okay, how do I use showing time? I don't even know. How do I type up the offer? How do I do these things? Because when I went under contract with a person, I just, hey, we were going to draft up an offer. The team leader admins would type it up and I'm on to the next one. So it was.
So this feels more like an assembly line in a way.
It was almost like an assembly line when it was good.
But then, like you said, nobody was, because this is again, you want to learn how to fish.
Yes.
We did not become agents to work for somebody or be a slave to somebody. Exactly. And if it's leads or anything, like, I feel like you could be making money, but if you're not teaching me anything, then in no way, I'm always going to be a slave to the resources that you're giving me. Yep. That has been kind of my career. Like, I've been looking for somebody that is going to teach me how to fish. Yep. Teach me how to fish. Exactly. So how long do you stay with them?
2.5 years. I was on the team for maybe a year, but then I was solo by myself for about a year and a half with them. And then I switched to Keller Williams.
Okay, so let's talk about that. That year and a half, were you by yourself at Better Home and Gardens? Where are you getting training from?
Oh, they have excellent training.
Okay.
But now I have the time to actually take it.
Gotcha. Because you're flipping those deals because you guys have a lot of volume. Gotcha.
Right, okay. Right. So they have wonderful training there. They really do. Okay. So yeah, and then I just was, because even though I was at Better Homes and Gardens, I was on a couple of teams, like the relocation team and USAA. So I was still getting leads from Better Homes and Gardens, which were expensive as well, but I didn't have that team split, but I still had a company split. And I call myself weaning myself off of these internet leads. Like, I gotta get it. I gotta find out. I gotta do it myself. So like the Op City, and I was on all those teams.
Those are expensive. Those Op City leads are expensive. But again, it's a good space for a new agent. So if you're a new agent that's growing a business, I wish I had Op City where I was at when I first started. You know what I'm saying? Like, you would at least you get some production going, but it's expensive lead. So you go to Keller Williams.
I go to Keller Williams and I tell myself, I'm not doing one internet lead this year. I'm not. I'm going to build my sphere and I'm going to find my clients somehow. And so that's what I did last year, which my production wasn't as high, but my GCI was it was the same. So I was so proud of myself for that. And I decided, let's make a change. Let's switch. Let's do something totally different. Let's leave Keller Williams and let's explore what EXP has to offer.
Okay, so let's talk about that, because I think those two are always compared to each other right now. It's kind of like the Keller Williams and the EXP. And a lot of it, I think it has to do because of revenue and profit share, right? So they're getting a lot of Keller Williams agents are jumping to EXP because they first understand the idea of getting paid outside of transactions.
Right.
So, for me, I didn't even understand that until I interviewed with Keller Williams. So I interviewed with them last Christmas, but it wasn't for a sales position. It was for a leadership position. I did like 3 or 4 interviews, but they didn't want me to sell. So they wanted me to do some other stuff. And they were the first one that like showed me like, oh, you got profit sharing. I was like, wait a minute, profit sharing, like that idea, like it hadn't even come to me. But needless to say, I didn't take the opportunities. Those numbers just didn't add up. It wasn't a win-win situation. Because once you take an agent out of production, like it needs to be compensated in a way, because you know what I'm saying? So it never happened, but it opened my eyes to be able to accept what was coming next. Because I'm like, oh, wait a minute, people are making money outside of just transactions. And you have to start thinking that way. So is that why you moved? Like, tell me why you moved from Keller Williams to EXP.
Okay, so I will tell you, the main reason I moved from Keller Williams to EXP was because I'm licensed in 2 states. And what I wanted was to have one brokerage, both states.
Okay. And you can't do that there. They have Keller Williams all over, but you can't do that?
They do, but they're franchises. So they're Keller Williams, but they're not the same, not the same.
It's like McDonald's, like this person owns this McDonald's, this person owns that McDonald's.
Exactly. So if I was to do that, it would have been, Keller Williams Atlanta and then Keller Williams Massachusetts. They would have been the same company, but 2 different, businesses, and 2 different fees and 2 different splits.
And 2 different splits and caps and everything.
Splits, caps.
You got one across the board. Whether we start selling again, one across the board. Whether I'm started selling houses, and it's funny you say that because one of the things me and my husband have been talking about is getting a home like in Atlanta or Dallas, somewhere warmer, so that we can become snowbirds. But I can literally stay with the same business and sell houses and grow a team in those different areas without ever changing companies.
Without ever changing companies. without even, I don't know, it just kind of blew my mind that I was like, what, this is possible? And just logging into one place and being at both of my offices, essentially. I mean, I can talk to my Massachusetts broker, click off and talk to my Georgia broker.
Yep.
And it's just seamless. Platforms are the same, one monthly fee, one split, one cap. And it's just...
So anybody out there wanting to grow a team in different spaces, like this is it. Like the opportunities are endless. We're going into, I think we're in South Africa now. We're in Australia. We're in Italy. I think I saw that one come up. Mexico. I can't even keep up. Portugal is, I can't even keep up with them. They're introduced in more countries as often. So, and guess what? If you want to go be an agent and go over there, you can do that too. And you can recruit agents in that space too. The opportunities, there's no ceiling. Forever told that real estate is very local. And now EXP is making it not local.
It's not local. It's definitely global. And that is so exciting to be able to do that. I called Opcity the other day to just see if I was able to do 2 states. And she's like, why would you do that? Most agents do states that are bordering each other. I don't think that we can do 2 states that are not close to each other. I said, how much sense does that make? Why would it matter?
It doesn't matter.
Why would it matter? It doesn't matter.
It shouldn't matter.
Oh, goodness. Yeah. I could probably get to Massachusetts quicker than I could get to Miami.
So tell me about that. You move over because now you can grow a team in Atlanta. You can grow a team in Massachusetts. How was that?
Sorry, one moment. Cussing. My child. Sorry. Okay.
No. How is that working for you? What has been your experience? When did you come over to EXP?
Okay, so I came over to EXP in October. October, into October, beginning of November. I closed my 2020? 2020. I closed my first Massachusetts deal December 31st. So I was Massachusetts first.
Hold on, let's backtrack. You're in Atlanta.
Yes.
And you closed your first deal in Massachusetts. Yes. How does that work? Yes. Let me tell me, girl, how does that work? You about to how do you do that?
Well, I just it was a family friend, and I just helped them find the property. I hired a showing assistant to show them the property, and I negotiated the deal from here, and I flew up for closing, and that was that.
Wait a minute, because you got my mind going right now. Like, I didn't even think about that. Like, duh, you could just hire a showing assistant. We do it here all the time.
We hear all the time.
All the time, I'd be like, can you do an inspection for me? Can you go do, sometimes I have agents do showings for me.
Yeah. All the time. And I'm like, why can't I do that? And I mean, I FaceTime if she really wanted me to see something. I created a rapport with the listing agents, and it was simple. I mean, I kind of blamed a lot of like, well, I'm not going to be able to come up right now, just COVID. My assistant is there. She's there if you need anything, and I'm just a phone call away. And it actually was pretty seamless. It was pretty awesome.
You just blew my cap back. I hadn't even thought about that, because I'm sitting here like, okay, I'm going to start building in another space. But in my mind, I'm like, I'm going to do that once I get there. But you're doing it and you're not even there.
And I have 2 people getting pre-qualified now in Massachusetts. Yes.
My God. That's amazing. That is amazing.
I'm really excited. I'm like, I could do this. I could definitely do this.
Yeah. And, so again, I hadn't even thought about that. I'm telling you, girl, you just made, I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready. Oh, you in Atlanta building business over here in Massachusetts, honey. That's amazing. I get on the flight because the flight ain't gonna cost nowhere near the commission you're gonna get when you get there. So
I know. I wanted to so bad. I'm like, I want to go up. But I'm like, no, I just got to trust the process because it's going to work. It's like, I want to see it. But I didn't. I didn't go up until closing. And it was.
Okay, so that's amazing. So it's working. The reason why you came over here is working. It's working. Yes. What else has been your experience here at EXP so far? Because you know, you left Keller Williams, the best place, as they say, to ever be as an agent.
Man, yeah, no. No, it's just a different vibe. I don't know. Even just through being on Gogo's team. I mean, Gogo is the extraordinaire in herself, but being on Gogo's team, just feeling the camaraderie, even just like our team meetings, they have me more fired up than I've been in a long time.
So let's talk about that, because I have 2 agents now. I have a brother-in-law. I actually told him that I was interviewing an Atlanta agent. And when I tell you, this is just who I am. I just give, right? I give information because I've been in a space before where I didn't have information. He's a new agent. And I have another agent that these are people that I'm talking to about coming to EXP. They're both new agents. And the one is like, well, I just don't know if the support's going to be there. I said, honey, I ain't never seen support like this. I've never seen support, and we're virtual. I'm like, I can have a problem, and the answer is, one day I dropped something and it was answered in less than 3 minutes.
In less than 3 minutes.
Less than 3 minutes.
It's quicker than a phone call to get into EXP world.
It's keep blowing my mind. I'm like, you're not going to be able to even have more support than this, because just the layers of support, because of how we have workplace, we have our team, and then whatever city, whatever state broker you have.
Right.
So like the layers of support, you just can't get over it. It's hard to stand up to that. And then whoever sponsored you. So anyway, I'm giving him he through deals, and he ain't even on my team. Like he don't even work at EXP. And I'm like, I didn't got him on the phone with people that work at EXP, and he don't even work here, to answer his questions on New Year's Day at 8:00 at night. Mm-hmm. Wasn't nowhere to be found.
Nowhere.
Yep. So you can't tell me that the support isn't here. And don't think that you have to have a brick and mortar to go into an office to get support. We just don't live in that world like that.
We don't. And that was one worry for me as well, because when I was at Keller Williams, my office was a little ways from me, maybe 40 minutes. And I had like a designated office space, and I've had one for the past 3 years. And I'm like, how am I going to go without an office? How am I going to go without an office? And when I found out we can use any Regis location, I'm like, okay, never mind. Like, it's all right.
Anywhere you just want to Regis and use
anywhere, here or there. It's okay, well, there's that. And
so where do you see, because you weren't a new agent when you got to EXP, you had about 5 years under your belt, am I correct?
Mm-hmm. About 4. Mm-hmm.
About 4. So where do you see your business going now that you're here? Do you see any spaces where there's training here that can plug in holes that maybe you're trying to get to? Like, what do you see in the next 3 to 5 years?
Agent attraction for sure. One thing I learned about being on the team is that I love being on a team. I just don't want it to be expensive. I don't want it to be expensive.
So let's talk about that. Because when I say team, most people are going to be like, oh, they're giving. We don't pay anybody anything on our team. Our split is 80-20, and we have access to each other. GoGo doesn't take a quarter. The people I sponsor, I never take a quarter from them. That's not how it works. So it's not expensive. And what you say is that energy and being around those people is amazing, and you're learning from them.
It's
just
essential.
Anything anymore.
Exactly. And that right there, I'm like, oh, I can build a team and not charge them. I can build a team and we can work together and collaborate and it not be competitive. I can build a team from Georgia to Massachusetts if I wanted to, in other states. And I just think that is where my career is headed. I'm just excited about that. Even if I don't get started right away, it is a possibility where it would not be anywhere else.
Yep. Just having the opportunity. Because again, I've been here since August, and I sponsored 2 agents. And one of my agents was like, I don't want to have anything to do with agent attraction. I was like, oh, no worries. But if you ever do, you can pick it up. Like, there's no push for you to do that, but the opportunity is there if you ever want to do that. And I think that's what this is important, having opportunities to do stuff if you want to. Some of these brokers just don't have when I went to my second brokerage, I went there because a friend went there, and she took 4 of us with her.
Oh, wow.
We just went because she was a friend.
Right.
And we were looking for a new home. Right. They didn't get any money for taking us over there.
Right.
Not a quarter. But if she was with EXP, they would have gave her money. We went literally like, that's what we do. Oh, that's my home girl. Oh, it looks good. Oh, let me go. And it wasn't bad when we got there. It was actually pretty cool, pretty chill, especially coming from the toxic place that I had come from at that time. It was a easy transition, but it wasn't going to get me to my destination.
Yeah, I'm trying to be about that snowbird life, even though there's no snow here.
I don't even get that cold there.
I'm trying to be, 6 months out of the year somewhere else.
It's
possible with this company, and that's exciting.
So, what about business? Business been pretty good for you. I know you're closing deals over there, Atlanta. Because Atlanta, it looks like, I follow a lot of Atlanta agents, and it looked like y'all market is on fire. Like, I saw something, and it was like 30 people outside of open house.
On fire. I mean, listings gone in an hour with 20 offers on it. Like, it's crazy. But I have a few under contract. I'm happy about that. It's been a busy 2 weeks.
Y'all see how modest she is. I just got a few under contract. Just a few.
Just a few,
Just a few,
It's been a good start to the year. I can tell you that. A good start.
Because, sometimes they say we don't really do real estate at EXP. We just recruit.
Oh. That's good to me.
I heard that. I was like, wait a minute, y'all know don't nobody make no money unless we do what we do, and that's sell houses. We got, and you never get away from selling homes, helping people get homes. It's just all the opportunities that come. We do the same thing and we get compensated in several different ways.
Exactly. That's a big one. I can get stock for doing the same thing I'm doing over here, and my split is less, and my fees are less, and my cap is about the same. Well, actually less if you divide it by 2 states.
Cap 16,000. Exactly. Yeah, I've heard people say the cap is 30,000. I was like,
21,000. I've heard a bunch of times.
Yeah. I was like, that's unfortunate. So tell the people, if somebody's sitting there and they are on the fence about EXP, what would you tell them?
I would tell them to really have a conversation with someone about it, because you have gotten some misinformation. There's no way that it's not at least intriguing. There's no way, unless you're your own broker, but still. Because
people are moving entire brokerages over.
Exactly.
They don't want to deal with the compliance piece and stuff like that. And people have literally brought their entire company over and the stock, and made so much stock in stock by doing what they've always done. I've seen people stock, honey. I've seen
Yeah. And it's like when stock was not even a conversation. Not even a conversation.
No, it wasn't even an opportunity. So Well, thank you so much. I'm excited to see. I'm telling you, girl, you just literally opened up another door in my mind.
Oh,
And this is
good.
why I love our team and partnership, because people are doing stuff that you hadn't even thought about. And the
Right.
idea that I get to talk to you and other people like you to give ideas on what you can do with your business is just amazing. Like that
Yeah.
collaboration, that mindset, being in that space is amazing. So I just want to say thank you so much, Corena, for coming by and doing this interview with me. And I'm excited to see where you're going. I'm
Thank
excited to see.
you. I'm excited too. I'm excited to keep watching you because I'll be learning from your Instagram too. I love your Instagram.
Girl, I'm learning from other people trying to apply it. That's why I said I'm in the let me try this. Oh, let's see what that like. It's just so many strategies. I went from like having hardly any strategies and being the I just remember being at my first brokerage and like putting videos on the internet, and
Yeah.
the manager and broker like, don't put that up there. That doesn't look right. You need to get edited out. And I was just like, no, but people don't really care that much about that. Like they just want to, so I remember, and I was just trying to figure it out, but being discouraged at doing it. And I'm like, yo, this ain't it. This holding me back. Like, I know what I'm seeing other top agents do. Like,
Right.
I don't have no problem in following.
Exactly.
If you show me that the strategy works, like I'm go, oh, this works, this got you here. Okay.
Let me try.
Let me put and then I'm not even gonna put my little twist on it until I know it works.
Right.
Put my twist on it because I need to make sure that the formula can be repeated. So, and I think that's what's amazing about EXP. We have the opportunity to work and collaborate with people where they have proven success, and they're giving it to us in a big
in different markets. I think that alone is
different
that's
market.
because the different markets doing what someone is doing in California here in Atlanta can change your business. Even being able to
change your business.
Change your business.
That is, man, that right there, because you weren't privileged to that information before.
Exactly.
And then it becomes something new in your market, and you were the first person. You were able to lead that newness. Because what happens is people in certain markets, they all continue, they be doing the same stuff. Everybody's doing the same stuff, right? And then you come in with something just a little bit different because you got it from your partner when y'all was on the team chat, and you was like, okay, I'm gonna do that over here, and it blows up and it takes off. But you wasn't even
happy to see it, and they're happy that you.
That part right there. That part right there. That part right there. They want you to steal it.
Yes, they want you to steal it. Yep. Even if you're not on their downline, it's just a different vibe.
It's just a different vibe. I'd be like, this is amazing. It's really a space of wealth.
Yeah.
If there's no lack, there's no that's mine, you can't use it. It's literally a space of wealth.
It really is.
Plug in. So, all right, guys, I have interviewed Corena in a agent in Atlanta and Massachusetts, honey. She is doing the thing. So I say, if you want to learn anything more about us, all social media and contact information will be along with this video, whether you're seeing it on Facebook or YouTube or Instagram. So check us out if you want to learn more about EXP. Thanks for tuning in. Thank you again, Yvonne.
Thank you.
Stay right there. Let's stop recording.